Not gonna lie, Aaron Parnas unfollowed me. A little bit sad about that. He was one of my first mutuals on this account, but whatever. Anyway, he said something in a video earlier today, actually two somethings that I want to talk about. The first,
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer just put out a statement saying that Democrats will uniformly reject any funding bill that includes DHS or ICE funding in it, all but ensuring a government shutdown come next week, specifically as it relates to the Department of Homeland Security, if they follow through on it. But the dam really is breaking following today's horrific shooting.
specifically, Schumer said, "What's happening in Minnesota is appalling and unacceptable in any American city. Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if DHS funding is included." We know that the Democrats, especially Chuck Schumer, have a tendency to cave. They have a tendency to surrender. So it's really important right now that if you have a Democratic senator, you let them know that this is the right move. You call and give them feedback. You email and give them feedback. Yes, hold the line, be strong. This is what we want to see from you. More of this, please. Our elected officials need not only negative feedback, they need positive reinforcement. We got to give them their flowers when they do the right thing. But likewise, if you have a Republican elected official, you got to reach out to them as well. Republicans are the ones who are empowering Donald Trump to do all of these awful, terrible things. Republicans could have stopped this at any point in time, and they are choosing not to. That is an active choice that your representatives and your senators from the Republican Party are doing to all of us, to the American people. Alex's blood is on Republicans' hands because they are the ones who are funding ICE and are not doing their constitutional duty to impeach and remove Donald Trump. And keep in mind, the list of impeachable offenses that Donald Trump has committed is now 25. Not to mention the impeachable offenses that J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio have committed, but the Republicans are doing fuck all. So we can pressure Democrats. Yes, Democrats doing the right thing. Keep standing up. Yeah, hold the line. Absolutely. Finally, maybe they're going to start doing the right thing. But also, don't forget that this is squarely on the shoulders of Republicans, and we should be pressuring them. The midterms are coming. They need to fear us, the people, more than they fear Donald Trump. Okay, let's get to the second thing that Aaron said, because this, to me, there's something here.
Significant rift emerging among Republicans right now. And the rift is between Republicans who are extremely pro-Second Amendment and Republicans who are extremely pro-Trump. You see, right now, many pro-Second Amendment Republicans are coming out and saying, well, this 37-year-old ICU nurse should not have been killed just because he was carrying a firearm, because he was legally permitted to do so. And the Trump administration's entire narrative was that, well, the officer was able to shoot him because he had a firearm on him. But as we know, that's not justification. And a major rift is emerging.
This is particularly interesting to me because I'm going to chat with some folks who are in rural Oregon. And I don't know if y'all know, Portland, very, very blue. But the minute you get outside the city, particularly in eastern and southern Oregon, it gets very red very quickly. And a lot of folks here are, like kind of libertarian, kind of pro-militia, really big into 2A. I don't know if you've seen those window stickers that are very common. They say Oregonian on them. People are really, really into their 2A rights in rural Oregon. And so one of my friends was saying that her MAGA neighbors and family are real pissed about what happened today. They're, for lack of a better phrase, up in arms. Not only because they have seen the footage and it's really clear to them what happened, but because of this shit that Greg Runt-Bavino said.
The suspect also had 2 loaded magazines and no accessible ID. This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
That right there gets the 2A folks to say, oh, fuck, no. Alex had a license to carry. That was his constitutionally protected right. He was doing nothing wrong. And all of the 2A folks, they feel that they should have their Second Amendment rights upheld, and so should everybody else. Alex Preddy did nothing wrong. He was exercising his Second Amendment right. He was not breaking the law in any way. First of all, if you break the law, you don't deserve to get pistol whipped and shot multiple times when you are unarmed and clearly restrained with your hands visible out. No threat whatsoever to law enforcement. This was an execution. We all know that. The 2A people watching that video, they know that. Additionally, whatever bullshit lies Kristi Noem and DHS and Greg Runt-Bavino are spinning, we all can watch the footage from multiple angles and clearly see not only was Alex holding a cell phone, right? The regime tried to say that Alex aggressed Border Patrol agents. with a firearm. It was a cell phone. He never took his firearm out. An agent reached around and grabbed it and threw it away. At no point in time was Alex accessing his firearm. Not only that, he was clearly subdued by half a dozen men, when an agent opened fire and shot him in cold blood. His firearm was nowhere near him. His hands were visible, and that guy fucking unloaded on him. And I'm telling you, there is something here. I think that this could be a line for a number of Republicans. I know that it is. I'm hearing a lot of Republicans are really, really fucking pissed about this. And this is a time when if you have Republican family members, or you yourself, maybe you're watching this and you're a Republican, right? Or maybe you're an independent, maybe you are somebody who has a Republican member of Congress and you are strongly 2A. Now is the time to reach out to them. You don't have to tell them who you voted for. You can just say, hi, so-and-so, you're my representative. I am a proud 2A American. I believe in our Second Amendment rights, and I am looking at the lawless, illegal actions of ICE threatening the Second Amendment. I need you to do something. Don't tell them who you voted for. Don't tell them anything but that. Republicans have got to be pushed on this issue. I think this is a leverage point, and I think that the outrage from Republicans over this is justified, right? Any 2A American who is absolutely flipping out over this, you should be. This is what we've been warning you about, right? Y'all have been supporting a regime that says comply or die. When y'all have your bumper stickers that say don't tread on me. When y'all have your give me liberty or give me death t-shirts, your t-shirts with the Constitution plastered all over them. This is what we've been talking about. Go read your fucking Constitution and see the way that the Trump regime is entirely lawless and seeking to dismantle that Constitution. I'm telling y'all, there is something here. This is a point of leverage that you can use with Republican family members and friends, but also with Republican electeds. It is an absolute travesty that Alex had to be murdered in cold blood in the street, that a man who is a caregiver, who is a nurse who took care of our veterans, had to be murdered in the street before libertarians, before white men started to care. They had to see it happen to one of their own. You know, a firearm carrying 2A white man with a professional degree. It had to happen to one of their own before they would start to care. Cool, I don't care. They're caring? Cool, let's use that. Bring them in. Get them activated. And more than that, I think that there are Republicans in Congress who are looking, how can I be like Marjorie Taylor Greene? What's my out? What's my way that I can be the rat fleeing this sinking ship? Because I can see that it's starting to crumble, and I have to have a reason to leave. I have to have either a push from my constituents. I have to have some kind of excuse to jump ship so that I don't face accountability. I don't face justice in the time to come. I dip out before it gets really bad. This is the thing. I think when it comes to 2A, you have a chance to leverage your Republican electeds who are already waffling, who are already like, why have I hitched my wagon to this star? This is a bad scene. Use this however you can. So yeah, okay.